Howdy, my name's Brian. I'm the other part of Scale Life RC, also known as Brojangles on Instagram. And this is my introduction to RC cars and what started me on it. So it all started for COVID, like you heard in her video earlier. We were all stuck in the houses, so we decided to go buy a bunch of RC cars, and I think we walked out of Friendly Hobbies with 6 or 7 SCX 24s. Pardon me. And yeah, long story short, that was where it started. A month later, we were buying Capras, and then the 24s kind of got put on a shelf because the Capras were just a lot more fun. And that was back when the upgrades for 24s were just like brass knuckles and stuff like that. And you had to do the Charisma big bore shocks. Does anybody remember doing those? I think I have a truck laying around somewhere with it on, where you had to like take the stock top and bottom off of the original shocks to be able to do it, to mount it, because the screws were way too big. But yeah, that was what started the 24s for me. And then we got the Capras. And I drove the Capra around, the two-wheel steer Capra around for a while. And then for my birthday one year, I was like, I want to do four-wheel steer. And she surprised me with a Trill axle and an RS500B from NSDRC servos.
What you need?
What's up?
Can we watch something else instead of WrestleMania?
Roman asked to watch WrestleMania. That's what he wants to watch.
Okay.
And so, yeah. Four-wheel steered the Capra. That was a lot of fun. And then my buddy IERC, Javi, and all those guys came out to Vegas and did a crawl with some of my friends. And that was when I got bitten by the LCG bug for 10 scales. And so $500 later, I bought my first 10th scale LCG rig, and it was the IERC Scalar V2. And it was the team version, so it was just red chassis. Hold on 1 second, I'll go grab it.
$500 is actually $500 is actually pretty cheap for a 10 scale LCG build. These tires are so much bigger than mine. Oh, that thing.
And so this is the same chassis that Paige had. Hers was just black, and this was just the team edition or whatever. But yeah, this was my first chassis, all aluminum. It's red, because IERC is red. And then after this truck, driving this around for a couple months, I was just like, well, I see a lot of the guys using carbon fiber. There's got to be an added aid to having carbon fiber. And this was only really a straight axle chassis, so boo on straight axles for the 10th scale. And then so I got this one, which is the IERC Evo X.
Different than the
Evolution. Different than the Evolution. Or
Isn't
Merge
there a
X
V1?
Evo.
And there's a V1 too, right?
What? Yeah, there's obviously a V1 somewhere, but I don't think it's even sold anymore. But this one was for portals, and I had an absolute blast with this one. And then after this one was the Evolution, and I had fun with the Evolution until I built the Extreme, and then I gave her the Evolution chassis. And then my current, I have to shit talk straight axles. My current 10th scale build is this, which is the straight axle version of this chassis. So this is a Merge X.
It's not just me.
It's a Merge X. There's a whole lot of chassis now. So this one was the Merge X, and I did this one and had a blast with it, but I've only driven it like twice. And then, obviously, just like her, I have the Extreme. And yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of clearance there. And so yeah, after having the four-wheel steer Capra and going to an LCG chassis, and then this coming around, there's just really, I don't really see the 10 scales doing much more other than adding more angle here, and now you're getting weird drive shaft angles and all sorts of stuff. And yeah, Love this truck. As you can see, it is heavily fucking used.
I was just about to say that. It's beat up. It's really
I'm running plastic axles on both ends with a 3D printed link riser. But yeah. This is my Extreme 24. And on the inside I have Hyper ESC, the Fulo Amazon transmission, a 90 gear and a 90-10 spur and pinion. And then I'm running the Holmes Hobby Revolver with a Hyper ESC. In the front I have a NSDRC RS800 V2. But that, and then it gets better. So then I started seeing everybody doing their scale trucks, and I was like, oh, like I really want a STX 10-3, but I just wanted the regular Gladiator. I didn't want a fancy one. And I told her I didn't want a fancy one.
You're welcome.
And so for Father's Day,
Sheesh.
Paige bought me the limited edition version of the Gladiator.
Yep.
It's got the Proline spec shocks on it. Yeah, it was pretty much a stock truck. The only thing it came with was the upgraded shocks, the paint job, the off-brand, the off-color body. You have to paint your body this color. This one came like that. It came with a little stand and everything. It was something out of 64 or something like that. It has the Knights Custom, the sliders, the fenders, the tent. It has green and white rock lights on it. It's running the Holmes Hobby Puller Pro at 2800 kV. It'll pull wheelies. It's a lot of fun to drive. And the long wheelbase of the Gladiator, if you're familiar with the STX24s, it's a really fun trail truck.
Yes, the body is stretched up.
Oh yeah.
I told him to use it. Use it.
Yeah.
I don't care.
It's about the fun.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I understand why people put things on shelves, but I have $500 Vanquish axles that I've beat up. We're not the same. I don't buy them to look pretty. I buy them to use them. On to the scale below that, we'll go to the not so 18 scale. The UTB 18 on the UTB 18 chassis from IERC. Sitting on 80 millimeter deluxes front and back. It's got a NSDRC 500B on it.
I like these rims.
1.9s with class 1 3.93 tusks. Great tire. One of my buddies in California got me hooked on this, but I've only left them on this truck. I haven't bought any other sizes of them because ruptures. You can't.
You want to talk about your experience with the holds?
Oh, you mean the slips?
Yep, the slips.
Yeah, everybody told me to get the slips or the holes. That they would be great tires, and I found that to be false.
I only call them slips. I don't call them holds ever, so that's probably why he's like the slips.
Everybody's rock's different.
Our rock.
So that always plays a part into it. And I honestly I don't even think I've broken them in, so maybe that could also be it too. But yeah, I prefer Super Swampers. I like watching the Super Swampers.
It fits.
That's my UTV 18. And then the truck that I first actually like built with the 24s was my Deadbolt. It was sitting on high clearance links, and then it had the Injora LCG chassis that came out 4 years ago. Stock motor, never even put a brushless in it. And then I built the Ramp Crab. The ranch crabs. We decided to do a couple 24 builds.
Those were so much fun.
They were fun. They were a lot.
So much fun.
I just knew there was more capable stuff out there scrolling Instagram.
Extreme.
The Extreme. There's a lot of capable 24 chassis out there. Lawless makes one. IERC makes one. Seal Designs makes one. Nacho makes them.
I saw some weird G looking.
Yeah, that G
chassis,
one. That chassis is pretty cool. The grimy chassis out there.
G
Sleek or something. Grimy.
That
thing's pretty sweet though.
It is pretty sweet. I like
and then
the expanding chassis.
Yeah, that new one from Venge is pretty sweet too. That one
that's
you
cool.
Can like stretch the wheelbase on without having to take it apart. That's super cool. You just bring drive shafts with you, and then you can stretch your wheelbase however you see fit. 24s, I guess. This was the first body I painted for my Extreme 24. And yeah. This was before I learned about fuzzy skin on your 3D prints on your bodies to get them to look a little bit nicer. I won't gatekeep the secret like everybody else does. But yeah, fuzzy skin is what makes... Like, play with your settings and you'll get like a finer print quality on the outside of the body where it just takes minor sanding and then it looks great. But yeah, full body. This one has the bed, the cage that goes to the rear, the fuel cell, and everything else. Sitting on an RS100 from NSDRC, Hyper ESC. I have the LGRP Micro Komodo collab on a stock transmission with metal housing and metal gears.
I can't say that. It's too hard. I always just say little guy racing parts.
LGRP.
Trying to think of all the letters. It'd take me longer to think about it than to just say little guy racing parts.
40 millimeter big bores with the brass on the bottom, metal axles, 1.3 modules on 70 millimeter Klingons, and it's rubber banded so it stops it from unloading on a climb. But yeah, heavy enough to drop the axles when you lift it up. And then this, keep that up there if you want. This was my original ramp crab chassis. These are Gladiator links that I took apart and used V1 axles I took off my ramp crab chassis, and then I 3D printed the Millie chassis off 24 Yup's website and the skid panels, and voila. I went really cheap with it. Since I upgraded my SCX30, I put the SCX30 ESC in there, the SCX30 motor, because it clears and it's a lot smaller.
Body doesn't go on as nice.
Facing it forward. You're missing magnets, that's why.
Oh.
And yeah, it's got an EMAX servo on the front of it. Fun little truck to drive. I'm just having an issue with this rear drive shaft hitting the...
Sure.
No, the upper link mount. And then, obviously, on the topic of 24s, you can't forget about the Nacho.
The highly endangered, sought after, the myth, the legend.
The truck everybody wants one of.
I want one too.
Hard to get a hold of.
I want one.
I was lucky enough to snag one on that last go around. And the setup in here is Hyper ESC, mini receiver, mini Fly Sky receiver, same one everybody else is running, the FS2A or whatever it is. Micro Komodo NSDRC RS100. And my battery of choice for the 24s is the Palm Power, the Palm Beach Bots 3S, 250 mile. I like the size of it, tiny. And yeah. Oh, and then here's my SCX30 she was just playing with. Pretty much the same as hers. Everything's the same. It's running the Fury Tech Micro Python or whatever it is, the Lizard Pro. We have Hyper ESCs for both of our SCX30s. We just need to get smaller batteries to put back in here with the JSTs. I don't like cutting the things and changing them. It's not that I can't. I just don't. I'm lazy, I guess. Yeah. Orange crawlers links, front and rear. I have the 27 or 25 millimeter Injora shocks. Stock housings, brass knuckles, brass steering link, stock steering servo. And then I have the Green Viper. Brushless motor. And the micro receiver just flopping around. I also, my favorite RC car to play with is my Traxxas UDR. It's up on a shelf. I was going to bring it in here, but there's not a lot of room in our little closet that we're chilling in. Our hobby room. See, there's our shower.
Woman cave.
Woman cave.
Yeah.
Woman
cave.
So yeah, that's it for us. Hope you guys are having a good night. We'll catch you guys on a different day.